We're getting men out of the house, just trying to prevent that isolation part in their lives and creating new friendships and having just a safe place to have a talk and a good time. And unfortunately, at times, people go through relationship issues, finance issues, job, like there's so many different things, but just providing that space for them to come along and know that they can.
Hey guys, welcome back again to the RoundTable. And in today's episode, I got to catch up with my dear friend Shane Bradbury, founder of the Harvey Bay Men's Walk and Talk Group. But look, stick around to hear his story as we sat down to talk about some of the great work he continues to do in his community and how you can get involved in supporting their cause, but also how you could possibly learn from about how to get involved or get in contact with for possibly a family member that you think could benefit from it. And so, without further ado, let's get to it. Hey guys, welcome back again to another brand new episode of the RoundTable. Today I'm back at one of God's hidden gems in Harvey Bay, joined by my special guest and dear friend Shane Bradbury. But before we kick off, as always, the RoundTable symbolizes a safe space where stories are shared, voices heard, and lessons learnt. So grab your favorite coffee, tea, or even just a glass of water and pull up a seat, because every story shared here matters. Shane, welcome to the RoundTable.
Wonderful to be back, catching up with you, and as you said, this is one of the best parts of Australia right here. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you too, and thank you for taking the time to join me again so we can kind of catch up on what's been happening on in your neck of the woods, and just to kind of raise that awareness within the community. But before we kind of get into it all, just for our listeners and viewers that may not know who you are, can you just share a little bit about yourself and your background?
Yeah, sure. So I'm one of the lucky ones, I say. I was born here in Harvey Bay, coming up to 44 years ago, next week actually. And grew up here, went through school, jumped into a career in financial planning, which lasted a bit over 20 years, and jumped over with my wife. We run a real estate office now, so that kind of keeps us busy. Aside from that, we have two beautiful daughters that are growing up quickly, 9 and 11 this year. But in the free time that I do have, I give back to our community, and probably the big one is our men's walk and talk group, which is now approaching 525 walks. Been running a bit over 5 years, and seen over 900 men come along at some point along the journey, whether they're people that live here, or we do have people that are travelling through and see us on the socials and come and join us for a bit of fun.
Oh, amazing, mate. Amazing. So, look, just for those that may not know about the men's walk and talk, can you kind of just describe what it's all about?
Yeah. So look, it started when I was losing connection with a few of my mates, and I left, my sporting career. My body wasn't handling the full efforts of cricket anymore, and I just needed to get out and do something and still have that mateship connection. So I found walking is something that I really enjoy, and doing it as a group and having that chat was something that I felt very much passionately about. And so in setting it up, we're getting men out of the house, just trying to prevent that isolation part in their lives and creating new friendships and having just a safe place to have a talk and a good time.
For you personally, what were some of the challenges that you were facing while trying to run the group?
Yeah, look, probably the big one is just that work life and family balance. That's probably the hardest one for me. When you've got all those things going on. But certainly, if I could, if finances allowed, I'd love to plough all my time into like a great community group like our walk and talk group. But probably aside from that, it's just getting known in the community and making sure that our identity's out there too. We still have a number of people that think that people need to be suffering some kind of illness to come along. That's not the case at all. We're open and inclusive to all men to come along, have a walk, and just have a good time.
How long? Oh, you mentioned you've been running so far for about 5 years. Over 900.
900 men, yeah,
Wow.
and yeah, we were over, yeah, and over 9,000 times these men have come along on one of our 520 odd walks. So it's the last 12 months certainly seen a great pickup in numbers, which is very heartwarming for me. I love that side.
Mm.
On a Tuesday afternoon, it's always been our most popular one. We're now seeing regularly, upwards of 40 and then close to 50. That's the number I'd love to. I'd be so excited when we're getting that 50 each week on a Tuesday, and afterwards we have a cold drink and keep the conversations flowing after a walk. But something I'm probably most proud of as well is seeing our Thursday morning numbers increase, and we've kind of jumped up 50% in the last couple of months. And there's one specific thing I think that's led to that increase, and that's offering a free coffee or tea at the end of it. And I see, instead of people coming along at 6 and leaving at 7, they're now coming along at 6 and you're still having conversations at 9 o'clock in the morning.
So with these conversations that you guys are having, um, how does that kind of tie in with the things that you guys go for your walk, come back, have a coffee?
Yeah, so walks can be as simple or as serious as they need to be. We're all supportive of one another, and unfortunately, at times people go through relationship issues, finance issues, job. Like there's so many different things, but just providing that space for them to come along and know that they can share their situation gives them a good sense of friendship and knowing that there's somebody supporting them.
And with you guys going through, I think some of the mental health courses, I think you mentioned the last time we were here. Is that something that's also been beneficial for those who get to, talk to other men and help
So
them?
I guess the big thing that I'm an advocate of those courses is that it does give people a little bit more confidence to have those initial conversations when somebody is struggling. They're not there to be a counsellor and provide the deep and meaningful conversations, but they're there to be supportive and then make sure that they get the ongoing support that they need, whether it's something immediate or introduction to a counsellor.
And how did you end up with doing these mental health care courses? Was it something you just thought, I got to do this, or?
Well, no, it was probably, when I started the walk, I hadn't really given much consideration to just how much, this may create an opportunity for people to come along and share their story. And when people started opening up, it was a bit of a oh shit moment for me, like, what do I say now? And that's where these courses then given me the courage to make sure that they weren't in the process of harming themselves. And then once we had that their immediate safety sorted out, working out a plan to get them the right support ongoing. So it's a confidence thing for our members in our group to be able to have those conversations. And it's not just within the group. You take this home to your family, to your friends, and to your workplace.
And I suppose to run a group like this, you kind of need funding behind you. So how do you guys manage to fund yourselves?
Yeah, look, funding's something. Having a financial background, I'm very cautious of where we spend our money, and fortunate enough to be a business owner, so a lot of expenses do run through our business. But we have a very supportive community and a lot of people that love what we do. So whenever I put my hand up, there's people willing and generous to support us. We got a pretty mean and lean budget, I guess, but the new one this year has been supplying the free coffee and tea, and again we've had businesses step up and say that they want to cover, so we got months in advance, we got people there helping it, which is it's again heartwarming our community and the support they give everybody.
And I've noticed on some of the socials, some of the big events that take place. Can you kind of just share some of those big walks you guys do actually overseas, I think?
Oh, one of the fun things is if somebody is away on holidays, we encourage people to take their shirt away, get a photo of a snap somewhere. So I've got one on the Great Wall of China, which I'm pretty proud of. We got people that been over to Europe, New Zealand, even just around Australia, different locations.
Mm.
They're proud. They're missing their Tuesday walk, but they're having it in somewhere else. So that's something that I love to see,
That's
and
so cool.
that they're proud, and it gives us a bit of brand exposure in other locations, and something people come up and ask, oh, what's this about, or oh, you're from Harvey Bay, I've been there. Again, creates conversations, but we also love to try and get away and tie in a bit of walking and a bit of social activity. So earlier in the year we went down to Pomona and we did the big Mount Kurrawa there, which was a bit of a shock to a few of our first time walkers. It's pretty much straight up a mountain, 400 odd meters. Gets the heart racing, but yeah, some amazing views and a sense of achievement when you get to the top and to look out. And from there we scaled back down and walked through to Koran, and we've got a great association with the local Noosa Hinterland Brewing Company there, and we've kind of ended up at the end of a number of our walks there for a cold one at the end, sharing our stories and that, which is pretty cool. But that walk then leads into our Kokoda challenge. So this year will be the 5th time members of our group going down. So we've got 16 walkers and about another five people come along to support us, that will do between 18 and 48 k's through the Kenilworth countryside, and that is a real test of not only your physical health but your mental health.
So can anyone kind of join in, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that's where, like, if people aren't up for the big walk, because there is quite a few bigger mountains to scale, we've got people, like, we still need support, people looking after our campsite, having food and that ready for when we get back, and just feeling a sense of it. But then if you're physically able to, encourage people to get along and go and do that event, because it really gives a bit of a buzz when you go, holy shit, I've just done 18 or 48 k's through some pretty rough terrain.
Wow.
With a good bunch of people.
Hey guys, thanks again for tuning back in. And if you're finding value in today's show, then please hit that like button, subscribe, and share so I can continue to discover new stories and unsung heroes that are making a huge impact in the community. And so, without further ado, let's get back to it. Going back to where you started to where you are today, obviously you would have seen so many different men coming through. Are there any particular individuals that you saw amazing transformations take place? Without mentioning names, but
Yeah, oh look, very fortunate that there is a number in our group now, and there's probably more that I don't even know about. They haven't spoken up about it, but you can tell I always get a pat on my back or a wife coming and saying, Shane, you're doing a good thing here. But probably the first, like, I was expecting some different or more obvious outcomes, but there was a few that really stick in my mind that weren't so obvious. And I can't remember if I mentioned this last time, but one of our walkers, I didn't realise, but he had a bit of a hearing problem and had been putting off getting an operation for many years. And he'd come along for our walks, and I didn't realise, but he couldn't hear the what we were talking about, the jokes and that. And one day he came up to me and said, Shane, look, I'm going to be missing for a little while. I'm going to be okay. And I was like, oh mate, you sure? What's going on? And he said, oh look, doctor's been telling me to have this operation on my hearing for some time now, and you guys, I can't hear what you're bloody saying. I'm sure it's good, but yous are the reason why I'm now going to take that next step and go and do it. So he did, and I imagine that it's created a lot of benefits for him, like not just in the group, but that was pretty heartwarming. Warming. We had another guy that was experiencing a bit of chest pain, and he was talking with another one of our men that has experienced some heart issues, and he said, "Oh mate, I would be going to see your GP." And next thing, he was off getting a quadruple bypass. His daughter communicated to the group that if it wasn't for the guys in our group encouraging him to go see the GP, who knows what might have happened. He might not be with us. So, that kind of stuff's pretty cool. We've had some that come to us and unfortunately marriage breakdowns. And there's one that really sticks out now. He went through this tough time and adamant he was never going to get married again. And late last year, sure enough, the right person come along. He's married and happy as Larry. So it's great. Great that the group provides that support.
Yeah, absolutely. Some great, amazing stories there too, which shows that it definitely works. So for anyone that's listening or watching this, get on down and check out the guys at Harvey Bay. But I suppose, throughout the whole experience of what you've witnessed over the years, for someone that would like to attend something like this, they're probably nervous. They don't know what to expect. Can you kind of walk us through how someone could come and approach it, or maybe it's someone else that wants to talk on their behalf?
Yeah. Look, so people can first reach out via our social media or our website. So I do get a number of people, asking for information or wanting a meet up before, so that when they do show up, they got a familiar face that they can come and talk to. So that's a kind of an easy way to get in. But for those that are a little bit more confident, it's just about showing up a bit early and saying hello, introducing yourself. Everyone in our group, they've all been a first timer at one point. They know exactly what that person's going through. So I encourage it as much as possible for just come introduce yourself. The guys will, if I'm not there, the rest of the crew will be very welcoming. And it's not about having to go and share a whole lot of information. It's up to the individual what they want to share, and sometimes it takes a while to build up that comfort in a group. But so proud now. I give out different awards at different stages, so I do my best to keep up to date with recording everybody that's come along and their number of walks. So we have a cricket bat to give out at their 100th walk, and a nice certificate at 250. And proud to say that there's many blokes now that are going through them at a fast rate, and they all share their experience of being a first time and not being sure, whether going to a men's walking group is something that will be of benefit. But the amount of friendships that have come from it, just it's amazing to see.
Yeah, and it shows too, mate. The way you talk about how amazing it's been for the men that have come through, the first timers. That's pretty cool. Because then I think it also feels like it gives someone that's watching this a fair idea then of like, oh, okay, so there's no real pressure. It's just a quick, reach out. Hey, Shane, would it be okay to catch up? I do know someone who could benefit from this, but I just wanted to make sure. So thank you for kind of breaking that down with us, for us, and sharing that. And I guess if there's other things that we probably haven't covered, now's an opportunity for you to just share with us what else has been going on, updates of what could be happening, and also where would you like to see the group in the next 12 months?
Yeah, look, that's probably the easy one for me. Is I just want to see more men coming along, and thankfully there's a lot of people now who've made connections, and people are saying, oh, you should go along and do the walk, and just kind of being consistent on social media is probably another one of the goals over the next 12 months. Life can get busy, and sometimes you miss one, and then it can quickly spiral. So I'm trying to be a bit more focused on making sure that those messages are out there, seeing our group out there. It's probably something that will help to get more men coming along. So that's probably the really big goal, is obviously more people coming along, bigger friendship groups. But other things that we've got going on in our group at the moment, we've got another. Fortunate with there's a women's walk and talk group in town as well, and they've been very active in getting some support to do some more mental health first aid training courses. So there's one of those coming up on the 10th and 17th of April. We've already got a few of our blokes going along to join them to do that, and I'd love to see more of that happening. But aside from that, it's just planning times that we can catch up and do different events. Later in the year, we always get involved with our local, I guess it's triathlon that they do, the Harvey Bay 100, which is a two-day event, and all our guys volunteer on the water station and motivate the competitors as they're going through the transition there. So it's great to see our blokes out there giving back.
Where do they usually hold that event around here?
Yeah, so it normally finishes up right where we're sitting here, so there's a turn point, but we're back probably another kilometre down the road. Brings people all over Queensland and Australia to our city and witness what we've got to offer the world.
If there's one or two pieces of advice you could share with us today, what would it be?
I guess it's the one that a lot of people talk about, and that's just if you're going through a hard time, a problem shared is problem halved. Getting out there and sometimes just getting it off your chest can be make a massive difference, and you never know, that person that you're sharing with may have the answer to help you through that time. So that's probably the big one is it's not weak to speak. Like, you hear all the different sayings. That's the big one, and that message just needs to keep going out and out. Hopefully they're teaching that in the schools, and that the earlier that side happens, the less people we may be able to save some of these people that unfortunately don't think that there's an avenue to help. Aside from that is don't be afraid to come along and join us for a walk. People say, when's the best time to come for a walk? It's today. It's don't wait. Your video is probably not taking into consideration the great weather and out there, our beautiful beach where we walk along every Tuesday and Thursday.
Well, before we kind of wrap up, I followed a similar suit to one of the podcasters out there, Diary of a CEO, where I get to ask my guests at the end of each show to write out a question, which we'll leave for the next guest, and then I get to ask him that question, and then he does the same thing to write out a question to leave for the next guest. So the question that I have left for you, Shane, is: who inspired you to be yourself, and what have you done so far?
Wow, well, that's a really good question, Mick. I actually got a lot of inspiration, and obviously my dad is a big one, about how he treated women, and what he spoke about. He got me my interest in finance. Unfortunately, I only got 17 years with him, but that was kind of, he obviously makes a big impression on like any father would in their childhood. And then I was lucky enough to meet a couple of great business people in town. So I was involved in the Surf Life Saving Club and got to meet a wonderful gentleman that got behind me and provided me a lot of guidance and good times, as well as when I jumped into the financial planning side, I had a great couple of mentors there. which given me opportunities that a boy that's grown up in Harvey Bay hasn't left Harvey Bay, didn't go to university, to where I am now. It's like I've got them to thank for it. But I've always been a big one of listening to my peers. A lot of my friends are years older than me, and because they just got that bit more maturity and that life skill. And if I can learn from them, and that's basically what I've done. I've taken their stories and lessons and tried to help guide me on my future. But at the moment, it's probably a lot more my wife. She's an inspiration to me. She looks after our family. I couldn't ask for more there, let alone what she does, work-wise. So look, it's a good question, but I can easily answer that one. I've got some great people around me.
Well, before we kind of wrap up, for those that want to find you, where can they?
Yeah, sure. So on Instagram and Facebook, we're just Men's Walk and Talk Harvey Bay, and then we've got our website menswalkharveybay.com.au.
Cool, and I'll also add those details in the description below. So hey, Shay, man, again, thanks for this opportunity. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for a beautiful day in one of God's hidden gems again. And man, it was great.
Hey mate, thanks. I appreciate it. I love catching up with you, and I'm sure there's another time coming up soon. And I'm very excited about signing this table too. I'm very impressed by it. I love your setup. You've done a great job. Keep it going.
Cheers, mate.